Welcome to Mystic Moons. Thank you for joining this journey of psychic mystique. It's late where I am. It's a little past the bewitching hour of 12 midnight. And let us bring the spirits into this. So much is happening every day. Every day we hear more calamities, more yes and no, more tug of war. But where does that leave us? Us. Wondering, praying, hoping, wishing, cursing, we don't know. All sorts of things. All sorts of reactions. It's almost like as I sit in this room, looking at weird artifacts, thinking of weird artifacts, thinking of the future, thinking of the past, present, timelessness, wondering just where do we stand? Where do we stand? I'm in the United States. And the United States is currently in a lot of turmoil, a lot of inner strife, outer strife. People are perplexed. They're told one thing on the public airwaves, and they think other thoughts privately or in their particular groups. This past weekend, there was a parade of protest. In many parts, just about every part of the United States that had some sort of functioning economy. Could be any type of economy. Like in New York, we have a variety of economic bases. We can sell medical marijuana, recreational marijuana. We can have gambling. I mean, there's there's the economy of construction, builder economy, and there's the economy of vices. Making money is making money. Hello, how are you? Echo Lady, how are you doing? How are you doing today on this bewitching evening? It's a few days past Friday the 13th. Now we're on Sunday. Sunday. The day is the sun. Of course, we're on Monday, early Monday. Then, of course, if we go across the planet, we're already well into the day of Moon Day, right? Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Echo Lady. Because today we're going to take a trip of logic and mysticism and male ego. So let's just grab into this maleness that we happen to be under in the United States and elsewhere. You know, sometimes good cop, bad cop. I mean, who really, I mean, cops are all types of people. There's good cops and there's bad cops. We all know that. In every profession, we have good and we have bad, and we have slimy, we have queasy, we have nervous, blah blah. But the point is, why does the United States have to be the world's cop? That's the thing. And then when you say the cops, right? The world's cop, who is the captain? Who is the leader? Who is the PM? The prime minister or the prime voice? Now, we know that the United States is always butting into things and under the excuse of it's in our best interest. As well as other countries butt into everything too. It's in our interest. Our interest. Who is our? That is the question that the masses have for the leaderships of all these countries. Who is our? Who is OUR in English? Who is the possessive form of who are they talking about? Are you getting money in your pocket, you and I? No. Somebody's getting the cash, the do-re-mi. Somebody's getting it. Now, getting back to Trump. Now, Trump is an American president, the 47th American president, right? Right? Right, Echo Lady? He is our president. Whether you like him or not, he is our president. But is he the boss? Is he the boss? Now, he's proclaimed leadership and affiliations to a few people. And number one is Netanyahu, right? I think we give them like $10,000 a day, $10 million a day, excuse me. Something outrageous. In the millions, daily, daily, daily. We pay for everything, taxpayers. Now, okay, that's a very, very tight relationship. That's like, almost like family. But, American families aren't known to be the grooviest, to be, use an old-fashioned word. In other words, there's a lot of discourse among family members. You and I probably have them. I certainly do. And it's allowable. It's allowable. We're not going to crucify each other because you have like a bad relationship with your parents or your sisters, your siblings, your ex-husband, your children. We're not. However, we do take note when we are like, who's the boss? And when you're being dragged into something. Now, most people in the United States, do you want your house, your place to look like Gaza? Do you want your place to look like, what is that, Ukraine? Do you want that to look, do you want your place to look like that? That is what the question is. That is where the outcome is. That is the border. Now, Netanyahu has been like, Trump says one thing and Netanyahu says another thing. Now, we all know that Netanyahu, the PM of Israel, he doesn't really have the support of the masses of his people. They want him out. And they're trying to get him out for a couple of years now. And we all know that, even though it's not hyped up much here. But if you go and look in the Jerusalem Post and the rest of the regional business rags, newspapers, dailies, whatever you want to call them, you can find that out. Now, he just survived by a slim, slim margin of corruption charges that would like kick him, give him the boot. But Netanyahu, like the dinghy in the water, in the ocean, he manages to stay above it. How he does it is not as anybody's guess. But not even 20 hours after his victory of retaining power as PM, he starts bombing Iran. Now, we all know about the Wolfson Doctrine. It's been going on since George W. Bush days. We all know about that. Conquer 1, 2, 3 like dominoes, countries in the Middle East, and search for those ancient artifacts, which we know it isn't dogma. We know it isn't political. It's something is in the Middle East that has gotten wind, or it's been like always kept secret, but everybody tries to get it. Get what? Some sort of artifacts that will prove that we are connected to with the universe. Now, anybody with openness, I'm going to say the word openness, knows that we are connected to more than just where we were birthed. I'll put it that way, where we were birthed. I mean, and the foods we eat and, the clothes we wear and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, we seem to have a major problem of identification on the globe. Anyway, the point of the matter is we're trying to see, as the United States, who's the boss? Is Trump? Trump just said, I know everything. And before he was saying, a day before, I don't know anything, then I know everything. I'm in charge. And then Netanyahu keeps on pushing. He wants the United States, you and I, and our relatives, no matter if you like them or not, our friends, our acquaintances, our neighbors, our communities, to be involved in the Middle East instead of being involved in Philadelphia, New York, Georgia, or Atlanta, Georgia. I'll put it since I'm speaking city-wise. That he wants us to be involved in his business, not our business, his business. And it's almost as though, is he leading Trump like a bull and by the horn, like a ring in his nose? Or is Trump compromised? Who is the boss of this country? I thought we elected, or he was elected or appointed, anointed, whatever you want to say. I thought he was appointed president. Now, how come somebody else comes over here from a foreign country and they're telling him, hello, how are you? Hi, how are you? Indash. I might say Indak. How are you? Hello. How can a leader of a country be dictated by the leader of another country? I mean, how is that possible? And is that happening? See, we got to find out who's the boss as we whirl into World War III. Destruction, destruction, destruction. Some sort of demonic force. Demonic force could be staying alive. Could be staying alive. Now we do know that Netanyahu gave Trump a golden pager. And we all know that cute little move they did, and I mean that sarcastically, cute, vicious move they did in, what was it, Syria or Lebanon? Probably Lebanon. Lebanon. Where they gave pagers, and then they were like explosives that blew kids' ears off, kids' arms off, put out your eyes. We all know about these 10,000 pagers that were like sent and they exploded. And that's like, we don't talk about that. That was a dirty deal. Very dirty and very effective, unfortunately. Cruel way of dealing with things. Now, we know that there's dirty tactics going on. I mean, war is killing, war is murder, war is destruction. You can't play with these toys. And the poof, your toys are all broken, burnt. Your house is broken, your clothes, you have none, your food, you're empty, blah, 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 blah. And I don't mean that lightly either. We all know what war and destruction. How can we have somebody barreling so intense upon keeping power? Is it Trump or is it Netanyahu? They want the power. And the power is what? Trump was elected to end all wars and to fix up this failing, sad-ass country of the United States. The roads, the bridges, the boats, the food, the system, the education. And what is he doing over in the Middle East? I'm going to tell Iran what to do? Don't they think they have the problems of their own? They can take care of their own self? You know, let's get a grip in this country. Let's get a grip. We do not want to fight in the Middle East. Both of these are highly patriarchal societies. Women are lower than schmucks. They have no this, they have no that. Why would we as Americans want our mothers or sisters, ourselves, even our men to be raised in that kind of duo system? So who is there, what is there to embrace? What kind of friendship is this? Just because somebody has a beard and wears a dress, a long robe, whatever you want to call it, and somebody else wears a Western suit that's supposed to be, yeah, okay. So let's see now. Let's find out who is the boss. Is it Netanyahu, the boss, or is it Trump? Is it Donnie or is it Benji? Is it Donald or is it Benjamin? Who is the boss? Now we're going to see who is the boss. Who's pulling? Is Donald Trump under siege? A death threat if he doesn't like do exactly what Netanyahu says he must do? Is he in trouble? If Donald Trump is in trouble, what does that mean for the rest of us? The rest of us without all that security details and so forth and so on. And what does he have to gain? He was elected to serve the country. What does he gain being Netanyahu's minion? I can't see somebody with as much 6'4", ego-filled Donald Trump being led to Hell's Gate, hell, with Netanyahu going this way, this way, this way. Can you? Can you, or will you, or won't you? But I can't see. Netanyahu is a desperate, desperate man for power. Where does he get this from? Okay, so I pulled some cards. Now, this is going to be like, who is the boss? Spirit, tell us the universe. Tell us in the universe, so the rest of our beings in the universe, extraterrestrials, terrestrials, and spirits, who is the boss of the United States? Who is the boss? Netanyahu or Trump? Oh, this is upside down. I don't like upside inverted. So I'm just going to, and if anybody, actually, I just shuffled these cards. I didn't really look at them. If they were upside down, inverted, but I'm going to assume. The first thing we get is the Queen of Swords. Communication. And an overwhelming receptivity. Okay, so they're both receptive to each other. We're joined at the hips. We're, what do they call, Siamese twins? We're joined at the ribs. We're joined. Okay, we call it Judo Christian, in the United States, something like that. We call it that way. Judaic, no, Judo Christian, something like that. I forget the term because I don't use it that much. However, now, okay, so we're receptive to the idea of the chosen land. Now, the next thing we have here is the Hierophant. Now, I could put this to scholars in biblical sense and all that, but the world is 5 billion years old. The Earth is 5 billion years old, and we're only talking of a section of the world history only going back 6,000 years. And we do know that archaeology is a very political thing. Discovering artifacts, writing about artifacts. Didn't King James write the Christian Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament? And we have all these groups. We have the Vatican, we have this, we have that. And there's a lot of things in disagreement with the Abrahamic religions, but there's certain things that are central. And there's other types of religions as well that cover the planet Earth. However, so then let's just take the Hierophant as going to different scholars and trying to make sense of war and killing. Now, if something requires blood, now we heard about vampires, we know about vampires, we know that they sustain theoretically on blood. As many as we do know that certain secret societies have been rumored that they like blood too. In fact, if you get injured, you give your blood anyway, you take blood. We know all that. However, Spirit says, where are we going with this bloodlust? Where are we going? Do you really want to reduce World War III? We're playing around with nuclear sites. We're playing around with, why should the United States be involved? Why should a regional contract? I mean, it is an atrocity, but what is the world going to do? What is the world going to do when they're already firing guns and missiles and things and frequencies at each other? What is the world going to do? And here we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so they have the toys, they have this, they have that. But the search for something inside the earth. And they keep on finding, X-raying the visual, the grounds in the Middle East and Asia, but they could just keep looking in the grounds everywhere. And they've been finding ancient civilizations, cities, structures, monuments. The past is haunting us. And why is the past haunting us? You can just say the same thing as like in Antarctica. They've been finding radio signals under the ice, beaming frequencies, not beaming, pulsating. Something is going on. We do know that we're getting frequencies, radio signals from beyond our moon, beyond into our galaxy. We know all that. But yet it's quiet. We're talking about, we don't want this and we don't want that. And we keep ourselves in the mire, in the muck. And which leader wants to have the civilization, the people, in the muck? Is it Trump? Is it Netanyahu? And where are they taking us? Are they taking us to the good ship lollipop? Oh, no. Are they taking us to nirvana? Oh, no. Are they taking us to hell? Oh, yes. If your idea of hell, are they taking us to an infernal situation? This, I would take the Knight of Pentacles as being there's some sort of mysteries, some sort of devices that is located in that area that's not being shared with the masses of the world. Yet we're supposed to think certain people are too hot-headed, certain people are irrational, by their birth chance of having what? Technology? Of having science, physics, as backwards as we are, or as backwards as we're perceived, the masses of all countries are given insight into. Like that. Given insight into. All right, the next one we draw on is okay. So now we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups. So maybe they're acting out. Netanyahu and Trump, they have a marriage, they have a union, unbreakable bond. United States, of which I don't know why they call it America when they should just say the United States. You can say of America. The same thing you can say Mexico of America or Canada of America, however you wish to say it, or etc. 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 Nicaragua, the rest of them, rest of the countries. However, it's a marriage, an unbroken union. How can a union be a health and wealth and peace and war at the same time, destruction and murder and blood? That's not a union. That's off a cliff. That's like, hey, can you fly? Let's see you do it first. And we all know as soon as those bombs from Iran came to Israel, well, the PM and the president, Herzog and Netanyahu, were not there. They had reportedly taken their plane called the Wing of Zion into Athens, Greece for safety. For safety. And the people were left to fend for themselves, go into shelters. Of course, the shelter was not good enough for the higher brass of the pyramid, but was good for the masses, the people, the people. Now, I know the people do not like to have bombs over their heads. They do not like to have their buildings eradicated, their loved ones splattered. Why should we keep on celebrating death and destruction and dismemberment? What are we giving away eyeballs, skin tissue, organs, livers, kidneys? Is that why there's like, oh, more body parts, more body parts? No, something more ferocious going on. That's ferocious enough. It's like, why are we going towards oblivion and disaster? Are we being driven and guided by some sort of non human? Does a leadership, when they get power, do they stay the same? Are they the person they used to be? A person with a conscience, a person with morality? Or do they become some sort of hideous, possessed psychopaths? That's a question. I'm sure you can do a paper on that, a thesis on that. You could. You could. What happens to leadership when it gets bananas? When it gets what they want? Does getting some make you want to have more and more, and your craving becomes insatiable, regardless of whom is hurt at whatever time? So, we can see right now from the cards so far, the word is receptivity. We see they're constantly seeking somebody's guidance. Could it be their fearless, their faith, their fearless leader, the faith? And we also see the surprise going on with the Knight of Pentacles. There's a prize. There's a prize. And that prize is what? We won't know, just like we didn't know until a few days ago on Fox News, an American reputable newscast, said that when he had the Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, he said, Driscoll, something like that. He said that I just spoke yesterday, I'm quoting, I just spoke to the astronaut on the moon yesterday. Uh-huh. What? Another secret moon base. So we have so many things, secrets, and all we're supposed to be doing is think about, oh, we have to protect our friends against our age-old enemy. Now, excuse me, but Iran hasn't had actually invaded anybody since Darius, which is like hundred years ago. Several hundred years ago, many hundred years ago. Darius. Go look it up. However, why are we supposed to have sympathy, and give our money and support? Why should we fight? Why should the United States fight for Benjamin Netanyahu to stay in power and to reduce our president? He is our president. Is he who? Right now, you can feel this tension. There is a marriage, but there's a tension because we have two super egos. Who is whom? Who is the boss? Okay, 50-50? This is not 50-50 because Israel is the size of New Jersey and the United States is 50 plus that. Plus, much bigger. Now, it's Americans to wonder who's bossing whom around. Now, we do know that, like it or not, Trump is president. But don't you feel something as a foreign entity coming along, and I mean foreigner, coming along and bossing our president around? What? Bossing us around. Telling our president, you better hop to it or this will happen or this won't happen. I don't understand this power. The spirits are still unclear. And who is the boss? So it seems right now they're reveling in some kind of partnership, doesn't it? They're reveling in the fact that they can get away. Both Trump and Netanyahu are content to have this facade of partnership. And what does that do for you and I? Do we have even the fact that there was this no kings rallies the other day, of which they put it down to immigration. It's not immigration, it's everything. Nobody wants the youth, the young people, the 18 to 26, 35 or 45 do not want to fight for the countries in the Middle East. They don't want to, no matter what. We want to fight for Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, and there's a way of not violence. There's a way of making, where's the jobs? Where's the future? What does anyone have to look forward to? High prices, poverty? My cat is echoing this. Now, right now it's indecisive. We have the Four of Cups. It's a time card. So the illusion that we have who's in power, it's still the illusion of getting together of the two. 1 second. Be quiet, Cheapers. Quiet. I have to tell Cheapers to be quiet. Now, we still have the illusion, and that's the success. It's in Israel's interest to say that partnership with the United States. But is it in the United States' interest to have partnership with a grubby little country that's always asking for things and could lead our country to look like Kiev, Ukraine, Crimea, Gaza? Do we want that as members of the United States population? Do we want to have that kind of solidarity? Or rather, we would rather have discussion. Can't these hotheads stop killing and breaking things? That's what we have to ask. How can you have a partnership with somebody who's intent upon destruction? What happened to peacemakers? Peacemakers at the end of a bomb? We're going to have to see what kind of, again, where is the answer for this? What's going to happen in 4 months? 4 months or 4 days? Is this weight card? Is this weight card in our interest? Or is it just going to escalate? And of course, we do know all this. We do know all of this is a distraction to keep us agitated. As I mentioned before, Mystic Moons have said, what are we getting? Do we find out about the drones, the orbs, the nothing, all the many sightings? There's lots of mysteries, and we have not gotten any answers except, except what? We have not gotten any answers except we stand with so and so and so and so, and they're all these countries. We stand with Ukraine, we stand with Israel. But what is it us? What is there for us? Destruction? We already have car bombings, and we have riots in the street. People are at arms, at arms. So what is this for? This timing card? We're going to find out who is the boss. We're going to find out whose leadership we are under. Really? Let's see. Now, let's try and get like a little bit more. We're going to use a different deck. Now, whose leadership? And what's going to happen in the 4 months? What can happen in 4 months? Peace, serenity? Doesn't smell like it. Now, the smell that you feel, can you just smell the burning flesh, the buildings? Close your eyes and imagine what it is to have your home burning, your high rises on fire, your skyscrapers burning. What do you want that for? Now, let's look at this a little bit more. The star. We have the star. We have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, the star. Are we going to have a resurrection in terms of rubble first? And we have an inverted Ten of Swords. In other words, we would have a pause. A pause, any type of pause right now, and the union as it stands right now would bring one calamity after another calamity, one that's irreversible. Irreversible. In other words, we will not recover as we are today. We've been progressively getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and the spirits tell us that we had better shape up and get into a universal peace mode because time is at hand. We have to demand truth. We have to demand talking. We have to demand which way we're going to go. Otherwise, we're going to have millions dead. Millions. And our cities, you think they look bad now? Wait till you get a few explosions like they have in Gaza, like they have in Tel Aviv, like they have in Iran. Wait till you see. Do you want the whole world burning for what? To have some sort of text, ancient text, the world would be destroyed by fire? Who is the boss? Both represent a battle going on. They both do not have the support and the love of their constituents. People draw the line when they see their own castles, their own houses, their own homes destroyed. And for what? For what? Neocolonialism? For what? What is the goal and what is the reasoning? Because so and so can't be trusted, and who is the gauge? Who's the guardianship? And we do know that if anybody thinks Iran does not have tools, technology, oh please, go back under the rock that you feel comfortable under. They have it all. They have it all and have had it. They have that and they have more. And they also have friends. Friends that don't want to, they want to keep depleting USA. You can shout USA all you want, but the USA is becoming a dying tiger. not even a wounded, dying. Now, is Donald Trump, does he have enough girth, enough stamina, enough of leadership to put a halt on this? To put a halt? Let us just cleanse the air. Let's call in the spirits. Because we're in trouble. Is this peace or this current war scene going to be turned into the tariff wars? I'll make a deal. There's no deal. You either live or you die. And if you, this is an old saying, right? If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Force does not make compliance. And to think one is all powerful, nobody is that powerful. Because there's other forces running this scene. We ask for calmer heads, cooler heads. And obviously, Netanyahu is not one of them. He isn't. We ask, please, leaders of this country, please, peacekeeper leaders of this country, please gain control of the situation, because it seems as though our president is swayed right now. Our president is indecisive. Our president needs strength. Netanyahu is not the answer to, it's not the type of friendship you want. Anyone to give you a golden pager after that incident, all the explosions, the maiming. Some great sickness is here, a great sickness. And I guess that must be cured before we can go any place. So we'll just leave it right here. Who's the boss? Sorry to say, but it looks as though that's still undecided, because there isn't the strength that's needed to pull towards peace, a pull towards accepting that you have an intelligent or want to be intelligent society, a society that wishes to go beyond ugh, ugh, and I'll hit you over the head, thugness. We want to we want to join the universe. We want to get out of primordial desperation. Is that possible? Who can do this? Surveilling people, cameras, watching, going through data. Let's educate the masses. Educate the masses. And appreciate real diversity. Appreciate all our attributes and what we have. And stop with the secrets. Is this going to happen? I don't think so. I think we have to go through much more pain and suffering before we realize the goal and our humanity and value our humanity. Do we have leadership for that? That's questionable, very questionable. It looks like, no, we have too much ego, too much maleness, too much thumping like King Kong. We have King Kong out there, King Kong. And we have something very desperate. And that's something that we'll just have to see what happens. So anyway, we can see now that we are in turbulent times. We know that. Solutions? It's not parading in the street, but of course it's showing a size of the population that is not in agreement. However, when you parade in the streets, you invite others, lunatics, rabble-rousers, look at me type people, not really problem solvers. It's very questionable. It's very, very questionable and scary at the same time, because we just do not have the leadership negotiations. We don't have the right philosophy. And condemning people for speaking out about the search for peace, that's not the answer. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. All right, I'm going to leave this, and I think I think we can see that who's the boss? There is no boss. There is no boss. We are leadership people, leaderless, leaderless for peace, for living. I'm not even going to say sustainability. I'm going to say for breath, for fresh air, for living. No, we're in dark times, people. Dark times. Pray for all of us. Okay? Peace out and keep your hearts higher and higher, lighter and lighter. Connect with the universe. All right? Connect with the universe, the forces, the force. I sound like Star Trek or Star Wars, but it isn't. This is something that's happening right now. We're living in a sci-fi world with a Neanderthal mentality and a Neanderthal drive. A primitive drive going on in the world of complexity. I'm told that machines will do everything for us. Everything. Instead of examining our own true values, our own true brilliance. We're like the lost kids, the lost children, the lost. We will find our way. We will fight to find our way. Not to bully others, but to fight to find our way. And that means we are resolved, reading, studying, feeling, and knowing if this is wrong or this is right. Until the next time, Mystic Moons is out. Out. Try the best, people.